Welcome back to Beelzebub the Jag. I'm going to have another go at shaping. This is for the it's part of the where the rear valance sits just down here. This panel sits at the side. I did show close-ups on video last week. The fuel pipes, actually, there will be a hole in this. The fuel pipes go through this and into the boot, and it's actually quite rotten. Large sections are missing, but as you form metal, it can only shrink or stretch, and this gives you a sense, if you look at this down here, quite how much this is stretched. The fold was about 12 millimeters all the way along, and as I've sort of beaten this over, you can see it's just considerably longer by about 4 or 5 millimeters. I've actually put a scribe, so I've just done it by hand, just sort of measured along here, and it gets to about here, and we've got excess material, so I put a scribe line. So I'm actually going to trim that off because I'm trying to get this to shrink. I don't have a shrinking machine. It'd take 2 or 3 rubs in a shrinking machine, and that would, because what's happening, this is stretching rather than shrinking, and because it's stretching, it's causing the panel to flare, and I need this panel to be flat. It's just got to come down here, which means shrinking this area. As that shrinks, it'll pull this flat again. So in order to prevent me trying to shrink too much, I'm just going to trim it, because this is the overlap I want. I don't need all that overlap, it's far too much. And it's purely come from the metal stretching, and it's stretched where I actually want it to shrink. My snips are a bit worn, to be honest with you. Come on, there we go. That's it. I'm using right-handed snips. The waste is coming off to the right-hand side. There we go. But this is all waste. I don't need this. This is all it. It was the right size when I trimmed the metal, but the banging and crashing with the hammer, it's caused it to stretch. Because it's stretched, we don't need it. So, and that's it now. I now need to sort of do more with the hammer and the weight. I've got to get, let me just see now, this curve needs to be about there actually. It needs to curl up considerably on that edge. That needs to come a lot higher. So we need a tighter radius here, and we need this is where the rear valance, this valance underneath here, the rear valance sits here, and it finishes about there. And so that is actually covered by the valance, which sort of screws on, and then this is actually exposed to the road, and that goes around and joins the chassis. But I've got to make that sort of fold. Let me think now. How did this go? Yeah, it's slightly deeper here and a slightly tighter curl on there. So that needs to, it just doesn't fit on the car. I did do a video last week and I'm just trying to remember what it was. Yeah, that needs to bend round. So bend that, tighten this, and lift that up. Quite a lot of banging and crashing, but it can be done. But it'll be a lot easier now I've trimmed off that stretch, because I'm trying to get this to sort of shrink in. It will compact. Metal will compact in on itself if you hit it correctly. If you hit it wrong, it stretches, or you might want it to stretch, but in this instance I don't want it to. I want it to sort of almost concertina and then kind of compact in on itself, and eventually if I hit it for long enough and in the right manner, it will work. So let's just get this right, and I'll turn the camera off and I'll get my my hammer and weights, and I'll have another bash and crash, and I'll probably film some more of it for you.